Every human, all of you, we all have the exact same ability to create yourself into the superhero of your own life. You have the ability to develop superpowers and become the superhero of your own life. Now, obviously, I am not talking about you developing the ability to shoot, I don't know, lightning out of your eyeballs. Now, maybe that's possible. I don't know, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the ability to do something that other people think is impossible, and you're all capable of doing it. To break it down into the psychology of it, it's called cognitive dissonance. This is one of the many ways you can accomplish goals that are unreasonable to most people. Cognitive dissonance, in case you don't understand what it is, you can look it up, but in case you don't understand what it is a very simplified definition, is you say something or you think something, or even if you feel something, and you know that it is so far from the actual truth that you have what is called cognitive dissonance. I'm gonna give you an example. Mike Tyson, for instance, he said, you have to be the champion before you can become him. You have to be the champion before you can become him. And what he's saying is you have to believe it inside to such a high degree that you make the achievement of your goal inevitable. So you have people like Mike Tyson, he talks like that, whether you like him or not. Andrew Tate talks like that. Even Elon Musk talks like that. And I understand most of you are very judgmental people and you may not like the examples that I'm using, but you can most likely, the first person that broke the 4-minute mile. This was a person that was told that breaking the 4-minute mile was impossible, but he felt that it could be done, and he practiced and trained and he believed in it until he did it. And now we know that the 4-minute mile is not a thing. You can eat, children in high school beat the 4-minute mile regularly. The reason Mike Tyson says stuff like that, like you have to become the champion before you have to be the champion before you can become him, is because initially, yeah, sure, if I said that I was gonna whoop Mike Tyson in a fight, if I said that I could beat Mike Tyson in his prime, now I have boxing skills. I boxed as a kid and I have been in countless street fights and prison fights. Boxing matches, not really. But fighting in and of itself, yes, absolutely. However, that being said, Mike Tyson at his prime is far beyond anything that I've ever touched in my life. However, so when I say it in the beginning, if I say I can beat Mike Tyson, right? Or it doesn't matter what goal you put forward, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm gonna make my business successful. I'm gonna be the first person to break generational curses. I'm going to retire my parents. It doesn't matter what your specific goal is. It can be anything. When you initially say it, it may be hard for you to feel it and understand it. When you say it, when you think it, you're so far, that thought, that feeling, that idea is so far from where you're starting that it creates a cognitive dissonance. You realize that what you're saying right now, I'm gonna retire my parents. You do not even have a job. You do not have any idea of how you're gonna make that happen. You've never seen somebody retire their parents, not personally. You've never understood the kind of money that it would take to retire your parents. So the cognitive dissonance between one and the other is pretty far. The thing is the more often you say it, I'm going to retire my parents by the time I'm 30. I'm going to retire my parents by the time I'm 30. I'm going to retire my parents by the time I'm 30. You say it over and over and over and over again. The brain does not like cognitive dissonance. It does not like things that don't make it feel like it's cohesive and like it's coherent all the time. Your brain, neuroplasticity, your brain will rewire itself to fit the thing that you keep saying all the time. You will become the things that you repeat to yourself all the time. If you continuously repeat to yourself, and of course you got to do the work, but if you continuously repeat to yourself, I'm going to retire my parents at the age of 30. And then you work on trying to figure it out and you find something that might be viable and you put all of your effort into it. You are willing to risk everything to gain everything. You have to be willing to risk it all in order to gain everything. If you're trying to serve two masters, well, I'm going to kind of go forward on this, but I'm going to make sure I keep some things in reserve. I'm gonna kind of make sure I get to work towards this goal, but I'm gonna make sure that I secure my future. You know, you got people that think about 401ks, right? If you're concerned about your retirement when you're 65 or 70 or whatever it is, then you're never gonna really make it as an entrepreneur. Just so you're aware, that is not gonna happen because you're not willing to risk everything in order to gain everything. So my point is though, if you're doing all the work, if you're doing everything that it takes to put yourself in the position to retire your parents by the age of 30, You're risking everything. You're doing everything that you can. You found something that seems to be viable and you are going full fucking force to make that happen. Your brain will rewire itself the more often you say it to put yourself in a position to where you are the kind of person that can make that happen, regardless of how far from it you are when you start. So you can be lazy, need to sleep all the time, don't know what you're doing, lost, all this other dumbass shit. You can be that. But if you keep saying to yourself, I'm going to retire my parents by the time I'm 30, and you mean it, and you are working towards it, your brain will rewire itself so that you can become the person that's capable of doing that. So when you have people like Mike Tyson, Andrew Tate, and Elon Musk, and the guy that broke the 4-minute mile, plus countless others, when you have people that are consistently saying these things to themselves, they have rewired themselves into the person that they are. So I'm gonna tell you the truth, right? Myself, everybody that I know of sees me as a well put together individual. This is why I was encouraged so hard to put together this YouTube channel. I have been through countless situations. I've been to prison twice. I've grew up in the hood. I've been broke a few times. I've made really good money, but not in a great way, a number of times. I've been through a lot of different things. I have shown high levels of resilience. The thing is, I have rewired myself so many times, I honestly could not tell you at this point who I may have been in the beginning because the brain doesn't like cognitive dissonance. I remember myself as being this same person my whole life. I remember myself as being a go-getter, a person that gets up early, a person that sacrifices sleep, a person that'll risk everything. I remember myself being this person for almost my entire life because the brain doesn't like cognitive dissonance. So when you hear people talk in the terms that they talk, whether you like this guy or not, Andrew Tate is a personality. Do not get me wrong. He is a personality. However, the things that he's saying, he does believe in the vast majority of them. And he has rewired himself. His brain has rewired itself to believe that he is and has always been that person. And you have that same ability. It's called cognitive dissonance. You can utilize it. You use it as leverage to create yourself into the person that you truly, truly, truly want to be and the person that can accomplish all the goals that you have. This is your ability to create superpowers in your life. The ability to stop being lazy, the ability to be a go-getter, the ability to not need sleep, the ability to risk everything, the ability to sacrifice all you have to sacrifice, the ability to put other things before you, whatever the fuck it is. This is how you do it. You have to consistently repeat to yourself the same things over and over and over and over again, and obviously be putting in the work towards them. You can't be a person with what I call unmotivated ambition. You can't be sitting on the couch looking at TV and see a fucking Lamborghini on TV and be like, I'm gonna get me one of these days. And then still be on the couch 3 weeks later when you see another Lamborghini on the television and be like, I'm gonna get me one of them these days. That is not gonna happen. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the effort. Do not get me wrong. The more often you put in the effort, the more doors that will be open to you for you to get the things accomplished that you wanna get accomplished. But you have to put in the work. Cognitive dissonance, everybody. It is your ability to create yourself into the superhero of your own life.